your mind at that point.
Just for sure.
Oh, dang, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Yanagida Podcast Show, episode 45. Oh my goodness. I am really super excited for this. Like, I love all my guests, but this is the first time I think we have three guests. And so, doing my research, I got my little juices going. I was like, yeah. So, on the show today, guys, we have Sean Adrenaline Rush. And we also have, the lady samurai,
Hello.
Sumiko Inaba. And we got Jose. What do I pronounce it?
Manuel.
Okay, Manuel Huerta, aka Tick. Oh man, I mean, there's so much, man, about Thailand, living in Thailand, training at the top team there, and oh my goodness, I was just like, oh my gosh. So everybody's curious, how did you guys get started in all this? People are probably like, man, how did they get started? Let's start with Sean.
Well, I think everybody has their own journey for sure, and how they got started and everything like that. So, I mean, for me, I've always been into martial arts my whole life, on and off. Got serious about it in high school, and it kind of just evolved from there, honestly, for me. So I've been kind of a lifetime martial artist, honestly. As for Sumiko, she started a little later, and then Tick.
Go for it, Tick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just a chunky boy, short. I can't play other sports, so I can choke and punch people, so
There you go.
that was for me, man. Yeah.
So you first started training in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in California, LA area for like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there, but I didn't train there like a year or two. And then I moved down to San Diego and just kind of got thrown to the wolves out there. So
There you go. And that was at the Alliance Training Center?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, sir.
Wow. And you started jiu-jitsu, right? I remember reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started like mostly jiu-jitsu, but
Oh.
I kind of mixed everything, but it's mostly jiu-jitsu.
Mm.
That's where the tick comes from.
That's where the tick comes from. Oh,
Let go,
dang. Dude, I was watching some of the clips. I was like, bro, 125, man. Oh, dang. Oh, all shredded, bro.
He likes to latch on to people.
So, what about Sumiko? Well, how did you get started? I was reading something about the nursing.
Okay, well, for me, I did, after high school, I went into, I was going to go the nursing degree and all that. And then it just wasn't doing it for me. Got into MMA mostly for fitness. Like, I just started with boxing at first. We ended up at Southside Boxing with Uncle Nante down in Kihei.
Southside Box.
And then he randomly was just throwing his first MMA promotion here on Maui. And I was down there, and he was like, hey, do you want to fight? I was like, why not? So, got thrown in there first time, won, and then loved it ever since. Yeah, and that was back in 2013. Yeah.
13.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just went straight boxing into...
First started with boxing, and then
jumped in the cage.
Yeah, because Uncle Nante was having an MMA event, so it's like, okay,
That's
just
awesome.
use your boxing is
There
what I
you
had,
go.
but
Figure it out.
So luckily the girl wasn't, she wanted to box too, and it ended up being good. But yeah, we ended up just punching each other in the face the whole time. It was an exciting fight for sure. But
2013.
2013, yeah. And then I fought like once a year, every year after that, pretty much.
Got it.
Here on Maui.
Yeah, I was reading up on that. So after that, where did you start training? You just kept training with Southside, or?
For my first two fights, it was mostly out of Southside Boxing, and then I pretty much kind of trained everywhere on Maui. It's hard because there's no MMA gym on Maui, so you kind of have to do your jits somewhere, your boxing somewhere, and put it all together. So I kind of trained all over the place, but currently at the Nest doing my jiu-jitsu, and then I have Coach Wayne Canberra with my boxing, and then I have these guys to mix it all together with the MMA, so it's coming together for sure.
Dang. Oh my god. So going back to Sean then, so after you were training here, I know we talked about a little bit at the gym.
Yeah, I started training with Kendall Grove, Justin McCulley, and Rude Boy Troy Mandalonas. Originally opened up INI Training Center back in I can't remember if it was 2008 or 2009 off the top of my head, but started training with them originally, and without them I wouldn't be still training probably. So super grateful for all those guys. Eventually made my way out to San Diego, where I met this guy out there, the Lions. And started training at the Lions. Before that, I was training in Vegas for a little bit, through Eddie actually at the Nest. Eddie Sanchez down at the Nest, affiliated with Zenith. So that's Robert Drysdale. So I went and trained with him a little bit too, before I headed out to San Diego. So got the privilege of training with a lot of great guys out there as well.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And so from that point, you just kept training and.
Yeah, I had a couple bumps in the road. Like I had a knee surgery in 2013, the ending of 2013. So that kind of put a halt on a lot of things for me, you know. So I had to get through that, and then I actually made my way out to San Diego after that. So once I was there, took a little bit, trained, got in shape again, everything kind of came together, ended up taking a fight.
Right.
And that was like almost, 4 years. Like
4 years.
After my previous fight.
Wow.
Before that, so I had a really big time layoff basically. But finally got back in the cage, everything felt great. Back at home too. Ended up getting knocked out in front of everyone I know.
Was that at War
Which
Memorial?
it happens as part of the game, you know. But yeah, I was at War Memorial. Yeah. But since then, after that, I actually went out to Thailand, and we ended up meeting up out there and training at the top team. Sharpened up a bunch of skills out there. Came back. We actually ended up signing with one championship, one Warrior Series, which is I guess they have one Super Series, one Warrior Series. They have a couple spin-offs off their show, but it was a chance to compete for $100,000. $100,000 contract with one championship. So me and him were fighting for that. So through that whole journey, it ended up being a great experience, you know. So sometimes you gotta take that loss to gain a whole lot more, you know. But yeah, so it's been a crazy journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything though. It's been awesome.
Oh my gosh! So wait, going back to Thailand, you guys are living there for a few months, or?
Yeah, he was there a little longer than me, but I was out there for like 4 months, 5 months. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I was just watching. I was just trying to pull up, doing my research. Yeah. It's like, I thought I saw that you were there for like a year.
Yeah, so I got a good year.
Okay. Got it.
It's similar to this. Yeah. Like if Thailand's like Maui and Tijuana made a baby.
Right in the middle.
That's like perfect.
Oh my gosh.
So it's very similar. So.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy too. And then I was watching some of your interviews. I think it was in the Hawaii scene before the Bellator. So what kept you going? Yeah, it was the one you were in the beach somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and what kept you going? Especially
with MMA, with fighting?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just fell in love with it. Like, I love to work out and I love to be active, and this was just like a way for me to do it without. I don't know. Lost thought there.
No.
But what kept me going? I don't know what to say besides I just love the sport. Like, I love learning as a martial artist, and with MMA, mixed martial arts, you have to learn everything from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to boxing to Muay Thai. It's like a whole chess game for sure. So just learning everything, and now that everything's starting to click, I want to learn even more. Like, these guys are a freaking MMA encyclopedia, and I'm just like trying to take everything in. So I mean, from the last camp to this camp already, I've improved, I can tell. So yeah, I'm just more knowledge, I feel like, is what keeps me going for sure. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Never ending knowledge for sure.
Never
Martial arts.
See, that's awesome. And it's like, for people listening, the first time I met you two, the first time was in the parking lot. And I was just dropping by, and I was like, oh, hi. And you're like, hi. And I was really awkward about it. I was like, I think this is the right place. Like, because I actually had my first JITS tournament there in 2009. It was before Eddie.
That's really funny. I had my first, one of my first jiu-jitsu tournaments in there as well.
Oh yeah, it was 08
I think when it was Island Warriors.
Yeah, Island Warriors,
yeah. Yeah, way back. And I don't know for what time period they were in there, but it was a good chunk of time that they were there before. Before Eddie was in there and everything. So
and I got flying armboard in there. White belt, flying armbar was like, what is this flying? What?
Great memory associated.
Great first memory. Oh my god. But no, this is crazy because the thing is, for people listening, is, man, these guys are so humble. Like you wouldn't even know. Like it's like, oh yeah. And even Sean and we just met last week, and I was just like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah. So this is what we're kind of doing, you know. And then when it's time to get it on, boom, single leg. I was like, oh, there's something different. I'm like, oh, boom. I was like, oh, okay, I did something different. And even when we were drilling, I remember thinking like, is she a fighter? Or, you know, I see the gloves on. And then we were just drilling the wrestling. And then your arm drags were so sharp. I was like, oh.
Oh, thank you.
I felt the pressure. I was like,
okay,
this is
I've been
not
working
just
on my grip strength.
Yeah.
Always.
It's not just the
hand fighting.
casual.
Yeah.
It's not just like let me just
Nope,
grab.
you
Yeah,
grab
it was like boom, boom.
grab
Tension.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hand fighting is so important, and we do a lot of that just at the house when we're training. Stuff like that. Yeah. Always fighting for position, inside position, and hand fighting. And it's kind of where a lot of the game starts. Whether it be standing up in wrestling positions or on the ground or against the cage, it's a lot about the hand fighting. So it's a little bit of an overlooked thing, I think. So yeah, we practice it a lot.
Yep.
So where did this come from? Like, did someone teach you that, or is it just experience where they're like, yeah, hand fighting? Because you don't really hear that so much.
I think definitely from a few different people, but overall experience, just over time, have learned that that's how important that really is to work. That's kind of not worked a whole lot. Like we pummel a lot and do those types of positions a lot, but not everywhere does like hand fighting positions. So I think the first time I honestly started doing that might have been with like Jimmy Harbison back at Alliance, and we would always do hand fighting position, no drills.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Oh my god.
Wow. But Jimmy Harbison had a very, very good black belt. From the East Coast, right? Really good.
Lloyd Irvin.
Yeah. But he had a bunch of great stuff that I picked up from him. And every coach I've worked with, I've always tried to pick up as much as I can, try to soak it up like a sponge, you know.
Yeah.
So
see, and that's incredible. Like,
And
just
I got it from him.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet, the two of you guys?
In the gym.
Here.
Well, okay, so we've known, we're fighters. I've known of him, he knows of me. But yeah, we both met here at the FAM Training Center back 2019. It's 2 years now, 2019.
Yeah, we had met in 2000. Well, not met, but we started hanging out, I should say, in 2019 after just a day training at the gym, and that led us to going up to Yale Valley, hanging out, jumping in the water, and then before we knew it, we were going out to lunch, and then so that was it. It was, long story short, it was funny because she had a fight coming up in like 4 weeks, and she didn't have a corner. So it ended up working out really well, where she was like, or I had told her, if you need help or need somebody to go with you, I'm available. So just let me know. I didn't know how comfortable she felt with it, but she ended up asking me to go, and that worked out. She won. It was for Donald Cerrone's Cowboys series out in Virginia. So she won that belt, and then we came back. And then I ended up fighting.
Dang, this guy already made up his mind.
I took him.
Sean, you made up your mind at that point. You're like, just please say the comment.
I was locked in.
You're locked in already.
Contract aside. So we ended up going out to Virginia. She fought, won, it went really well, and then I ended up having a fight a few months later in October of that same year. Out in Tokyo, in Japan, and
I went with.
She went with me to corner me because it ended up being kind of last minute, and we didn't have everybo's passports together and all kinds of different things. So it worked out really good. She came with me, cornered me. It was just me and her. So I ended up winning second round TKO. So it was really good. It went really well.
Wow. So, that was crazy because I remember I was just watching that too. Koki, right? Koki Shimokawa.
Yes.
And I heard your voice. 10 seconds or something like that in the back. I was like, oh, wait, is that her? Like, I think that's her voice.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang. What was going through your mind after that first round? You came back strong that second. Just
I honestly didn't have a warm up of any kind.
Really?
For that, and it was a little bit like, I don't know how to explain this, but we were in the back, got my hands wrapped, everything seemed to be normal, and then they were like, "Oh, you're on, in 5 minutes." So we hit pads for like 2 minutes, maybe. Warmed up a little bit, and so. It was also a kickboxing fight in MMA gloves, which it was supposed to be an MMA bout, and then I don't remember what happened to the opponent, but something happened a few weeks before the fight, or maybe it was like a month out, and they asked me if I wanted to take a kickboxing fight because that's all they had at the time as far as fighting opponents. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? I think honestly they expected me to lose because he was like had multiple titles, and he was an undefeated kickboxer and from Japan as well. So it was like I feel like I was brought in a little bit to lose, but ended up going, surprise, right? surprise. But yeah, so 5 minutes. They were like, okay, you got 5. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, we gotta go.
Wow.
Warm up a little bit, and then we walked out, and we ended up sitting in a little area, basically, we're standing in a little area with a couple other fighters, and we realized that I'm 5 fights away still.
What do you mean 5 fights?
Like, there's 5 fights ahead of me still and they're having me just waiting in this area, basically like a bullpen area.
Wow.
Getting ready to walk out.
Wow.
But I'm hearing my opponent cracking pads behind the curtain and working and getting a warm up, so I was that worried me slightly, but there's nothing I could really do about it other than tell her to put her hands up, and I'm going to hit your hands as pads right now, and we're going to get some rounds in this tiny, in a 4x4 foot area.
Wow.
But
that's crazy.
we made it happen. But so going into the first, I was really cold, so I really was off timing and everything. So it kind of took me around to just get everything together a little bit, honestly. So the second round, it would explain why I came out a little bit maybe better looking in the second round.
There's stuff you don't see behind, huh?
Yeah, but it's part of the game. It happens. Yeah. There's just things you got to ride with and be able to adapt to in the moment, So, but
which Sean's really good at. He's really good at adapting.
Yeah, I saw you trying to like go for the ground and pound finish, and you're like, oh.
Yep, he had to. That was the MMA in him.
Yeah. For sure. I'm glad Olivier Coates was.
Yeah, the ref he was on it.
He's a pretty good ref, so I was glad that he caught me on that.
He was on it. Don't hit him on the ground.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So what goes through your guys' mind? Like the night before, people are probably curious. Like the night before, what do you guys think about? Because I've heard different answers.
Why am I doing that?
Yeah, Tick. What goes through your mind?
It's fun. Sure.
It's fun. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have fun tomorrow.
I get my ass kicked. I might kick ass. It's kind of like, dude. It's everything. It's a freaking roller coaster, So it's just like, and every fight is different. Some fights you're like, I'm ready to die. Other fights you're like, I'm so scared. I don't want to go out there. It varies, dude. Like it just depends on like whatever's going on with your regular life,
Yep.
But yeah, it goes up and down, dude. It's a roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Some days you're like, yes, I want to scrap today. Other days like, Sumiko, don't touch me, get away.
Get away. Oh my gosh, I like that.
Yeah, it definitely varies from person to person for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I think before a fight?
Yeah. What about the last one?
This last one?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just excited to be there because with everything that happened with COVID and like thinking I wasn't gonna fight, just being there was cool. Doing the whole experience of all of it. So I think I was just more excited than nervous. There was some pressure going into that fight since it was my pro debut. Just of course you never want to lose, but for me it was just like, okay, this is for me to prove like I have the skills to be a pro. So it was just those kind of thoughts that you have, and it's only yourself fighting yourself. Like it's literally that's all you think about because it's only you going in there. It's only you can only control what happens. So yeah, I was excited. I would say for that last fight. The last 2 fights actually were exciting. Yeah.
There you go. And that speaking of that fight too, I remember I was just watching that. It was like the last 30 seconds or something. I heard your voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He said 20 seconds.
Oh,
I heard
20 seconds. Yeah.
20 seconds. That's
or I might have said 25, but either way, I like to say a little less of time, so that they just maybe 5 seconds, just a little shorter than it actually is, just so she has a little bit more of an urgency to do whatever she's gonna do, and still have a little extra. Not a lot, but just a little. A little
extra. Yeah, that's smart, man. And then you went for it.
I went for it. It was funny. I got to the ground. I remember this very clearly, and I seen him through the cage, and he said 20 seconds. I was like, okay, we're not going to the second round. We're finishing it right now. And
wow.
Lady Samurai came out. I guess.
Lady Samurai came out. Just oh my god. Wow. What about when you were in Tokyo? Because that's a different country. Was there anything different or kind of like usual?
It was pretty normal, honestly. I'm kind of weird. I'm a little bit weird when it comes to fights. The only time I really get nervous is when it's the drive from the hotel to the venue. I'll get some butterflies and get a little weird. Just normal feelings, I think. And then once I get into the place and I'll check out the cage or the ring or whatever it is, I don't know, it just goes away. And then I'm kind of just ready to go, honestly. I don't know why. I'm very weird when it comes to that. I don't get too nervous.
Wow.
Lucky.
But I honestly think I don't get as nervous because of preparation. And the times I've taken a little, shorter notice of things, then I'm a little bit more nervous for sure. And I feel like, the confidence comes with preparation. So the more I'm training and the more time I have to prepare, the less of a big deal it becomes to me a little bit, just because I'm confident in my abilities. But there's definitely a fine line to play with that, because you don't want to be overly confident ever. And so it's always a balancing act as far as figuring out how to really feel, because you want to pump yourself up sometimes, or maybe you're a person that's naturally really pumped up and you don't need any extra, so you need somebody there to calm you down a little bit, versus the opposite. Maybe you're really relaxed and calm, so sometimes I need a person to kind of hype you up a little bit.
The hype man.
There you go, yeah. Kick in the corner.
And make me realize a little bit hey, it's time to go, let's go. Because I do treat it, or tend to treat it a little bit casual, just because I like to think of it, it's just another day, because I do this every day, so it's not something that's foreign to me. So it's just another day of training, but I get to turn it up to 100, versus I never get to do that at the day, you know what I mean, necessarily. So it just, I guess that's where it changes.
Wow.
But it varies from person to person, though, I think, drastically.
And fight to fight, I feel like, too. Like he said, preparation, how your camp went, how your personal life is, all that stuff, goes into it, I feel like.
And this last fight, too, I was coming off of a decision loss. I was doing really good. I was undefeated at one point. I came from a decision loss, a really tough fight in King of the Cage. Then I had my knee surgery, and then I had all that time off, and then I got knocked out. And now this is the fight after that knockout.
Wow.
So, and it was a kickboxing fight where I had no ability to take it to the ground, where I have, I guess you could say, an advantage there. So I had to use, only my striking. So it was kind of coincidence that it ended up being a striking fight, and it was almost like, okay, well, you got to face your fear with this, because you don't have the ability to take him down. You can't do that. All you can do is stand there and strike. So it really, it kind of had to make me bite down on it and just face the fear of getting knocked out again, because I think that's in everybody's head after that happens. You just, it's in the back of your mind a little bit. I don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen twice, or you don't want it to happen ever. But it's one of those situations where you definitely don't want it to happen twice. So, and the whole thing, he's a southpaw. He's got a wicked rear kick. So the whole time I'm thinking, don't get knocked out by this kick. And first round he clips me. Really, you can hear it in the video how hard he hits me right on the side of my head, and I'm like, oh, there it was.
There it was.
All right, time to go. Like, yeah. So it's overcoming those though. Those moments though are what's special. Like about this sport too, is being able to overcome that and come back and face that fear and like overcome it and then move on to achieve even more. You know. So. I enjoy that.
Oh God! And speaking of like preparation, like what do you guys normally do? I know you guys train, but like, what does your schedule look like? Like right now, what does your schedule look like, Sumiko? Since you're in camp.
It's always 2 days, sometimes 3 days right now, you know, with camp, but it's broken up normally. Like every other day would be striking, you know, because Maui doesn't have an MMA gym, so we'll do jits in the morning and then striking at night. Yeah. And then that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Tuesday, Thursday is strength and conditioning and kickboxing or like MMA stuff, and we put it all together, you know, at our house. And then putting in sprints and, you know, all that other stuff, a long run, putting in miles, like all that goes in. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, striking and jiu-jitsu. Tuesday, Thursday, strength and conditioning and MMA, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drilling. I guess you use drilling days.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Wow.
But pretty much something every day.
Yeah.
I like to get a good solid recovery day, one day out of the week, but pretty much 6 days a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
What about like food wise? People are probably curious. What do these guys eat?
I'm like the worst person. I am the worst person to ask that.
Down to earth, vegan chocolate cupcakes.
That's
Hey.
No, I do love
Hey, there
it.
you go. Some cake tick. Yeah.
Vegan, so Oreos.
Vegan Oreos.
So are Oreos.
Yeah.
Hey, Oreos are vegan.
Are-
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
they
vegan.
really are apparently.
Yeah.
We're all different, so I don't know. Who you want to talk about? What you do, or
No, we eat pretty similar. It's not that different. You just eat less than me.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
But we eat really clean actually. I mean, I guess that's not like super surprising because we have to make weight and stuff like that. But we eat pretty clean. I intermittent fast most every day, so I don't usually eat till like 1 or 2 o'clock. And I'll get 1 or 2 trainings in the morning time and be feeling fine. But if I try to not eat and train again, I'll be dead. So I gotta train or eat before I train in the afternoon for sure. And that kind of just consists of, I'll usually go the whole day fasting, and then I'll eat a good like oatmeal with fruits and like hemp seeds, chia seeds, all kinds of different
Berries.
yeah, all kinds. I was just gonna say all kinds of different berries and stuff like that. I'll just throw a bunch of stuff in there, and some peanut butter, almond butter, and stuff like that. And that'll be like a good meal for me to eat before I train later on. Dinner wise, we usually just cook up a whole bunch of different veggies, but we most of the time only eat our meat that we've hunted. So we usually go and hunt when we can, when we have the time, we'll go hunt and try to fill the freezer with either venison or whatever we're gonna go get.
Yo, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we try to eat pretty. Yeah, we try to be pretty sustainable as far as that. And we save a lot of money, and it's the cleanest, best protein for us to be eating. And we feel really good and strong, and so it worked out really well. Like, I think that balance of being able to go do that, and it's like an active rest too. So we'll go, kind of kill 3 birds with 1 stone and get to exercise, get food, save money at the same time. So.
all 3. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's basically just those 2 meals then.
Kind of, yeah. And then I won't lie, I'll eat some dessert though. Like I said, I love those.
He saves it for nighttime.
There you go. Save it for nighttime.
But he processes sugar differently. Like something, I don't know what it is, if it's intermittent fasting or what it is, but he processes sugar differently, I swear. Chocolate, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Me, I'm the same. I'll have 1 more meal than him. I'll have a middle meal. And that just consists of like a protein and veggies, just like a pre-workout before my next training session. But yeah, definitely a big oatmeal like after my first training session in the morning. And then I'll have a pre-workout, something before the next training, and then like he said, venison and some kind of veggie, and I've been loving sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Yes, so that's normally our.
Which we also grow in the back.
We keep it pretty simple.
Oh.
And
Dang, man.
We try our best to
We try.
be
Yeah.
self-sufficient.
Wow.
Try our
That's
best.
awesome. That's really awesome.
Taking
But
advice.
she's got to eat a little.
Not
She's got to eat a little bit more than me though too, because of more often. I can get away with my intermittent fast because my metabolism's already quicker. Years ago, I had to speed it up because I used to have a really slow one, and my boxing coach, once I started training with him, he was like, "How often are you running every morning? What is your diet like? What are you eating?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't run ever." I ran with like strength and conditioning, but I didn't run every morning or anything like that. So once I met him, I run usually at 4:30 in the morning also.
Wow.
Get a couple miles in 3 to 5, depending
Wow.
how I feel. But that really kicks off your metabolism for the morning time, and then eating little meals throughout the day, eight meals, small things that it's going to kickstart your metabolism. So that's actually something
He helped me with that. I definitely, I messed up my metabolism. Just with cutting weight. Like, in the beginning of, amateur fighting career, you don't know how to cut weight properly. You don't know how, where you're supposed to be before a fight, and you just do it the wrong way. And it's all trial and error. That's kind of what it was. But then, got to him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, your metabolism is just messed up.
We gotta reboot this.
Which, eating, multiple times a day, it definitely helped. So, and I'm at the point now where all that work has helped where now I can eat more like he can, where it's less meals, bigger meals. My metabolism is actually working. I'm using it as fuel. Like, my body's feeling it. Yeah.
She's a machine right now.
It's finally all clicking.
It's all firing on all
Everything's starting
cylinders.
to work.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. And just thinking about the food thing, training, like, you're still waking up early right now?
Mm-hmm.
And wow.
Every day.
Yeah, so when I see you guys in the morning, we already
worked
trained
out.
usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
He gets up at 4:30. I'll get up at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get one working. Yeah, I'll work out in, and then, like I was telling you, the sauna.
Yeah.
And then we'll come down to jits, and we'll see you at jits mostly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
Dude, that is some, like, just, you don't really hear that much. I mean, maybe a little bit more now, but just to sustain that multiple training, even when there's no fight, coming up.
We're lucky. I mean, I can't do that. Like most people can't do that. They have a full-time job, or you know what I mean. Like this is work. This is our That's why I'm saying like that's why we can do it and train every day and wake up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning because we sleep early too.
Right.
We're old people. Like we go to sleep
That's
by
how we
9
get along,
o'clock,
man.
like, we're sleeping.
Every night.
Yeah.
These are
Sorry, bro. It's time to go to bed.
I got a newborn back home, so I like it. I can sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so we go to sleep early, we get up early, we just start, try and keep that consistently. And now it's to the point where like I don't even need my alarm clock. My circadian cycle is I'll wake up at 5 o'clock, no matter what. Yeah. So it's just all the work that I've been putting in this last year with trying to get my body to do it is finally starting to kick in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like, does that people sometimes ask fighters, like, does that mess with like your fight times? Like if you're sleeping early, or what do you guys do anything different that week of?
When we travel.
Yeah. Like the travel.
So we put all. I tease the brain with that, but we definitely try to figure out like, okay, what time I would be fighting,
right? Because
it's gonna be on the East Coast, and then a few days out we'll try and adjust. Get a workout in at that time. That it would be,
well, not a few days. We usually weeks before.
Yeah. Sorry.
So like during the whole camp, if we know she's fighting at a certain time, then we'll usually add a workout in or subtract a workout, move a workout to that time if we can, if it makes sense, if it's not something ridiculous like 3 in the morning or something.
Right.
But we will make a later workout though if that's the case. Then just so her body's used to waking up at that time, because you do get into a rhythm where if it's 4 o'clock and I'm not working out, I just start sweating. Like my body's like, we're supposed to be revving right now, doing some real serious activity. Like what's going on?
Wow. Wow.
This guy though, I've seen this guy fast for like 3 days.
Really?
Like, he does some crazy stuff when it comes
3
to
days,
diets and
72
stuff. Like,
hours.
I
he-
just go drastic. I'm special sometimes. So like if I have nothing coming up, or if I'm just like I know I've been being a fat boy, I'm like okay, it's time to torture ourselves. So yeah, you know, I'm not getting hit in the face. Like okay, let me just like stare at food and.
Oh man, you know it's crazy because I remember when you came here too, I was like, who is this guy? And I saw you guys there 3 of you guys were getting along, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, da da da. I was like, oh.
There's a connection between them.
Yeah, and I was
There's
like, I wonder who this guy
Yeah.
is. And you were just watching that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
He just
what-
came
what-
in.
You just came in.
Just flew in.
I just flew in.
Oh.
I haven't been doing anything for like a long time.
Got it.
So I'm okay. Let me breathe for 1 minute real quick.
Here
See
we
how
go.
these guys
Acclimate.
sweat.
Yeah.
Try to put on my poker face. I wasn't ready to get beat up.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Oh my gosh. So is this the first time you came to Hawaii?
No, this is my 3rd time.
Oh, 3rd time
Yeah.
already.
Love it. It's the best place in the world.
Wow, I know. It's just, so you guys invited him to come by, or?
Yeah, we needed somebody. No offense, but we needed somebody short to
Yeah,
mimic.
Hey,
the
I'm
girl
lightweight.
that's fighting.
Yeah.
Good at being short. You know?
Ah.
No, but we needed somebody to help mimic the girl that she's gonna fight. A lot of the time, it's hard to find an exact partner that makes sense. That's
Mhm.
you know around the same size and is also like somebody we can trust and that's controlled. And I know I've known him for years. Like you know, he's one of my best friends. So like I understand that he knows how to be controlled, knows his techniques really well. He knows how to break stuff down. He knows how to teach. So he's just a good person to have around. He can hold pads. He can do everything basically that I would need him to do. Like if I wasn't there even too. So say something happened and you know with this whole COVID thing also it's kind of crazy. So he's gonna come in corner and help out me, my coach, boxing coach Wayne Canberra and Tiff are gonna go up to corner. So say something happens with this whole COVID thing and one of us all of a sudden has COVID. Then at least he's there, he can corner. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so it's like
That's
a great tool person to utilize like that I know that I was able to bring in and came with it without a hesitation.
It's
You
a
know?
good friend, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
MVP over here, man. Like,
When
dang.
the universe speaks to you, you can't say that.
My man.
Dude, I was at work, like, man, I hate my job, I hate my life. And then Sean calls, I'm like, okay.
Let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'll go out. I'll quit today for sure. I'm out. Yeah.
Wow. You know, and somebody asked me this to ask you guys. What would be your advice to somebody who wants to get into MMA that has no experience?
Wrestle.
Wrestle.
Start with wrestling.
Start with wrestling.
Which is hard because Maui doesn't have wrestling.
Wrestling.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're, I mean, even right now with COVID, I don't know how that's going, but if you're in high school or club, like, there's not much going.
That's
So
true.
it's hard to start that
And
here.
there's no adult wrestling
Adult
club,
program that teaches
you know, where it's
which is
just,
hard, but I would say start on the ground, I guess. I don't know.
that's a hard one.
What would you say, Sean?
I agree with wrestling is
Yeah.
a great base to have, but it's hard to obtain when you're already past an age because it's a sport that's really common when you're younger, all the way through high school and then college and stuff like that. And
Right.
they even have professional wrestling things with like flow combat and stuff. Or flow
Oh,
wrestling.
that's right. Floor wrestling.
Yeah. Now and outlets for these guys to make money, and support themselves, so it's awesome. But there's no unless you're an experienced high level wrestler, you're not really learning wrestling as an adult, I guess you could say. So there's you're kind of limited to jiu-jitsu. If you can find an MMA school in general or a kickboxing place, or you know what I mean, you're kind of limited to those. Judo I think is great. Also, I think judo is great, and that's something an adult can do. But gosh, it really depends on what you're trying
What
to
you're
accomplish. If
interested
you're
in.
really trying to fight MMA, I would find an MMA gym,
Yeah.
which here is very difficult to find. But so if you are here, the next best thing would probably be a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
That would, you gotta use with what you have,
Right.
So I would say jiu-jitsu just being here because that's the only thing that we really have on Maui to offer. Somebody that's trying to get involved in MMA, just to understand all the positions. And you know, jiu-jitsu is such a big part of MMA also, but you have to learn what you can use and what you shouldn't use, because there's sport jiu-jitsu and then there's MMA jiu-jitsu, and then there's like street jiu-jitsu, you know, which is like there's different styles of jiu-jitsu. So you can't use a lot of sport jiu-jitsu when you fight MMA because you're putting yourself in really bad positions to get punched or elbowed or, you know, hurt really bad. As to where in MMA jiu-jitsu you're kind of it's more of a top game oriented style. More of a catch wrestling style, I guess you could say. So if you have somebody to learn catch wrestling from, that would be really awesome. You know, YouTube,
yeah. Best friend right there.
But I feel like honestly, like even especially here, like whatever you kind of find, like what is your passion that you want to get into MMA first to kind of, you know, it's like, I guess you could start there. You know, it's like, okay, do you want to learn boxing first, or would you want to learn jiu-jitsu first? It's kind of just, preference, what you love. Because I fell in love with striking first. You fell in love kind of with jiu-jitsu first.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it kind of depends on your journey as well.
Yeah. I think with the striking aspect, if you're learning striking, it kind of gives you a tool to only hurt someone, though.
What do you mean by that? Like only hurt someone?
So the only thing you can do when you learn how to box or kickbox or do Muay Thai is if you get into a physical altercation with somebody, the only thing you can do is hurt them. Versus if I learn jiu-jitsu, I can learn how to control somebody without hurting them. Which is, I think, why like more people should know how to do jiu-jitsu, you know, or just in general learn how to feel what it's like to be grabbed and grab somebody and control another person, you know, because a lot of people, I think that's why, not to get in a weird subject, but I think that's why a lot of police end up having these bad situations where they're just not used to grabbing someone and actually having to deal with another person. And if you're doing that on a day-to-day basis at jiu-jitsu, it just becomes more normal. So it makes sense to me to do jiu-jitsu where I'm able to isolate another person without damaging them necessarily, or cutting them open or breaking their nose, or you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's a situation where you don't want to hurt them, you just need them to settle down, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That for me, that I don't know, that's where that's what I think.
That's a really good point. I mean, the whole grappling thing, because someone grabbing you, and because you probably wouldn't start striking sparring until you're at least pretty decent.
That as well, yeah.
Like versus like jiu-jitsu, maybe like a month in. Just
you can start.
Yeah, I mean,
you'd expect that.
First day almost, but
But boxing gyms, they kind of go.
There you go.
Jump right in. There you go.
It depends on what gym you're at.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's a really good point, grappling. And then you started off jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, it was everything, but I like the jiu-jitsu most more because like I got a little arm, short reach, but if I grab someone, I can choke them. I'm like, okay, good night. So, that's my stuff. I love that.
Wow.
But yeah, I started with everything, but jiu-jitsu is, I like it.
It's awesome. Wow. You know, like, I'm really enjoying this, man. Like, I'm learning a lot, and I hope everybody else listening and watching is learning a lot too, because some gold nuggets in here, man. About preparation, about food, and wake up, and adjusting, and the whole grappling aspect of someone grabbing you. Because I know somebody, Vince also jumped on and was like, yeah, jiu-jitsu, because to start with, because he was saying, if someone grabs you, you got to learn to relax and not freak out so much.
For sure.
Yeah. For especially like someone brand new.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You'll freak out when you get a punch thrown at you too, though.
Yeah.
So it's like either way, you gotta cover all your bases. So at some point, you gotta cover all the bases. But I think jiu-jitsu is a great base for sure to start out with.
Wow. Holy cow! You know, it's just crazy, man. I'm just thinking about like who you guys are at the gym and here, and then when it comes to fight night, I'm like, oh my god, it's like different personality types, man.
just flips on, you know.
Yeah.
Switch.
A different switch, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I was just doing some, digging in, and where do you see you guys selves in like the next year? I know COVID this last year, nobody could see it, but like this time next year, 12 months, what do you guys see yourself doing?
More of this, hopefully fighting. I want to get fighting, you fight.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't fought in a while. That's where I see myself.
There you go. 125?
Yeah.
My man! Yeah!
Oh,
That's
man.
my spot, man.
Woo!
I try to go lower, but yeah. No, I got bird bones at 115, so 125
Oh.
is okay.
25. Wow. Yeah.
How about you?
Me, hopefully at least fight 3 more times by this time next year. I just want to try and get him in, like the more I can stay relevant and, get it done and hopefully make my way to the title. It's like, I only have so many years in my peak, I'm 30 years old right now. So, and I feel like I'm in my peak, which is great, but definitely within this next year, try and get as many as I can. And with COVID stuff right now, it was hard to get there, but it happened. So it's like it happened 2 times within this last year already. So I can see it happening, 3 more fights for sure by next year. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
3 more fights.
Just putting it out there.
Putting it out there. There you go.
Putting it out into the universe.
Yeah.
For me, I'm in the same boat as Sick. I'm trying to just get a fight right now. Honestly, I've been having a little bit of a hard time, so I'm hoping, reaching out to a few management agencies and trying to figure out if I can get a manager and get something going as soon as possible. Because I'm in shape right now. I could make
You
weight
can fight
today.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
if anybody's listening and he's a 170 out there, I am ready to go.
Sean's ready to go.
I need some time on that.
Oh my goodness.
No, but for sure, like even with me fighting on, in Bellator, like I would love to make a name there so I can start pulling in, like, you know what I mean? Like I could get these guys. These guys have the talent to be there. So it's like I'm on that platform, and I'm hoping by then I can start, helping bringing other fighters into. So yeah.
See, that's awesome, man. Like this, like the camaraderie feeling between you guys, and it's just like. It's an us kind of thing, yeah. It's so beautiful. It really is.
It's an individual sport,
Yeah.
but it's a team sport. It's like you got best of both worlds. You perform by yourself, but like you have your whole team, family behind you. As you walk in. So you win together, you learn together. So it's it's a weird, intimate thing. Like you can look someone in the face, hit them in the face, and then be like, I know you. Okay, this is cool. It's an odd thing.
Yeah. You get, We got close super fast.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you get close
That's
fast.
how you get close fast.
Punch and grab each other.
Sure.
Bunch and grab each other.
Best friends are people I
Oh yeah.
get into
Go to war
full
with.
blown, get into wars with.
Oh my
It's pretty
God.
funny. It's a different kind of camaraderie and
Yeah.
respect that you develop for the other person, and also you get to see who that person is. Like you get to really see who that person is. Like if they're gonna break, not break, or
They're gonna bite down.
if they're gonna bite down, if they're going, if they're
You learn really
willing to go
fast.
down with the ship or not.
Yeah.
You get to see that real quick in our sport, which is different from like regular day-to-day meetups with people. You don't
Right.
really know someone like until you know them. I guess as the saying goes. So it's like you can know somebody for a really long time, but they do some weird stuff eventually.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've never had that problem with most of everybody I've trained with all these years. Like
Yeah.
you
Weird
become
comes out real
super
quick,
close.
too.
It comes up quick.
You're like,
weird-
okay.
yeah.
You know instantly,
You
you're
get
weird.
sorted out. You
Yeah.
get sifted out quick. Like guys, when we were up in Alliance, guys would come and go
A week, 2 weeks.
all the time.
Oh, that fast.
All the time.
Wow.
Gag it, grab it.
It's just it's a do you fit in / can you hang kind of thing, and you see it, the make or break happen quickly.
Wow.
So it's interesting, but through this sport you meet so many awesome people that I could almost go anywhere in the world and like call somebody and have a place to like go train and stay and like hang out.
See,
They're
that's
so
just
close. Their
hard.
birthday is a day apart.
Your birthdays are
Like,
day
to the
apart.
year.
When is you guys' birthdays?
August 20th.
20th.
August 21st.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah, 91, both 91.
Both 91.
Yeah,
We're
super
all
weird.
91.
91.
Yeah,
Hey. 30 years old.
We're old.
Oh,
29, 29,
almost
29.
Yeah,
29.
29.
29, so yeah, 29.
Take it easy.
Hey, there you go, there you go.
I need the
She's robbing the cradle.
I feel the best at 30. I feel better now at 30 than I did at 20. I'll say that. So
See, that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just with health and with with the sport and learning and with the sport comes a lot. Like you have to be healthy. So like it definitely helped me to learn diet and nutrition and how to sleep well and how to recover well. So like this sport has done so much for me just as a person completely. Yeah. So yeah, definitely better at 30 than 20. So
I like that.
hey.
30s and 20.
Yeah.
30s and 20.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. One of the last things I want to ask, people are probably curious, like, what the heck do you guys do for fun? Like, I mean, I know you guys are training, yeah, it's all day, but
Pretty much.
like, I know the hunting, any like, some people on the show have said things like playing games or watching certain shows or.
We watch fights.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I mean,
there you go.
We study so like that's what we do for
Fights.
fun. Like we watch
It's an
fights.
obsession.
Yeah.
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 It's an addiction.
See,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and with mixed martial arts, you can watch so much. You can watch just a boxing match. You can watch just a jiu-jitsu match. You know what I mean? You can watch. There's so many things. Wrestling, judo. There's so much information that you're constantly learning. It never gets boring. This is what it is.
There's no time
Yeah.
for nothing.
There's no
It's
time.
like
It's
literally
hard.
live,
We were
breathe,
just watching
think,
fights.
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, we just watched the Bellator fights just now in the car coming into this
Aw.
podcast. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
always watching fights. It's
See,
always.
that's awesome.
We're always studying film for sure.
Yeah.
But we have a good time though.
We do. We hunt. We surf. We go to the beach. We play soccer with my daughter. Like we do fun stuff too. Like take our dog to the park. We live a normal life, but
Yeah, it's good to have those times to like decompress, you know.
Yeah,
So on the
I need
weekend,
that.
like when we have days off, we'll usually be somewhat active, but we'll take Leia, her daughter, on a beautiful hike somewhere. You know what I mean? We'll try to really spend a lot of good quality time. So it's kind of a good decompression, but we'll still be doing something active.
always
to not just
active
be-
though.
Always active.
Yeah,
Yeah.
body
Always doing
emotions.
something.
He's like,
Stays in
okay,
motion.
let's go
That's the
hunting.
goal.
I'm like, okay,
That's
yeah,
the
that
goal.
sounds fun. We hike miles uphill. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is hunting. This is your kind of hunting.
Oh my
But
goodness.
no, it's great. Like he bought me a bow and it's
Yeah, we shoot archery all the
Wow.
time, just in general. So that's like a really good meditative thing.
That's awesome.
I try to get this guy to shoot. So I have him shoot the bow. Right, he's never shot, and I didn't explain everything as well as I should have explained it. I explained it pretty decently, but I left out that you could hit your arm pretty good when you let go of that string. So he hit his forearm so hard that he ends up having this huge welt. It's gone now, but
It's
yeah,
gone
it
now.
left him a huge welt for days.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
it was-
Yeah.
I hit the target though.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
there
did
you go.
it. He did it
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's a martial artist. He should
Yeah.
be able to. He got it.
Take a little bowl. Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I want to just quickly acknowledge you guys for coming on the show. Like, Tick, just for, thanks for coming on. And, you flew over and training and all this stuff, supporting. And Sean, man, ever since the first day we rode, I was like, dude, this guy is different, bro. Nothing's working, bro.
I
I
appreciate
was like, my man.
compliments, man.
It's
Thank you.
like, you just feel like a different
He's made of
aura.
something else.
Different
too.
aura.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. Well, thank you for having us, on the show. This is an honor for us to be on here. So we really appreciate you, and you've always been super good vibes from the second we met you as well. So it's good to be on here and get to actually talk stories outside of the gym.
Outside the
So-
gym.
Yeah, no.
And Sumiko, you too, man. I want to acknowledge you too, because first day you came, I was outside and I was just like, normal. Sometimes you don't even get greeted, right? It's just like,
Come
oh,
in.
new
Yeah.
guy, oh, attack this guy.
The green light.
Yeah.
Green light.
Attack this guy. Like there was none of that, and it was just like, oh yeah, come inside. I just met everybody, and everybody's so cool. Like I didn't even know about anything until like maybe last week.
Oh, okay.
And then I realized like Vince, our mutual friend, was like, hey, That's
They
have you met Sean? Have you met Rush?
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait, why does that name sound familiar?
Yeah.
Oh, he's this bearded guy. And he does MMA, and I was like, oh, that guy.
That's a really funny description of me too.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny.
Well, you did just have a beard.
I had the mountain man look for
Mountain man
look for sure.
But yes, thank you so much for having this. This is awesome. It's good practice for me too because oh my gosh, I get in front of Bellator production and it's just like what is happening.
What's
so this
happening?
is great. This is a nice like a little before because I leave next week Saturday already. So yeah, so this is
So
a
your
good
fight is
warm
coming
up
up
for-
when?
On the 21st. So we leave on Saturday, next week Saturday, and then I fight the following Friday. Yeah. So they have us going up a lot sooner just because of COVID, and they quarantine us for 2 days when we get there, and then the whole week cut and all that. So yeah, but I'm excited. It's coming up fast. Yeah, we leave already. Yeah, next week Saturday. So.
Dang. Let's end it off then. So, what do you guys want to leave off with the podcast, with our audience? Anything you want to share? I mean, we talked almost. This is one of our longer podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know.
It means it's good.
Right,
It's just like we just keep talking. I was like, oh man, this is a good episode.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Anything that I didn't ask or want to share or just sort of tip? I love how you're sitting, bro. You're just so chill.
I wish I
You're
had
like
that
the most
chair.
chill guy. Just, oh man, Mr. Aloha.
I
Like,
fit in small places.
yo, this is awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. Wrestle.
Wrestle. There you go.
That's why Sean feels different because he wrestles.
Just wrestle.
Wrestle.
You'll
Yeah.
see him fighting soon. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
And just for everybody listening, where can they find you guys?
Social media, I just changed my Instagram username. Oh no, it's Sumiko.Inaba. Yeah.
Make sure.
I just changed it because somebody told me that I should have my name, which is smart. Like, of course, like how is somebody gonna find you if it says Lady Samurai? So I changed it.
PR Pointer 101.
Yeah.
There you go.
_Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my first name Sumiko dot and my last name Inaba. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. Come check it out.
Just you can Sean Rush, but adrenaline_rush is my the tag on my
I want to change it to
hashtag,
sugar,
whatever
but
you
I
call
won't change it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sugar Rush.
Sugar Rush.
Sugar
Oh,
Rush.
we might change it.
No.
Tickosaurus_Rex.
Tickosaurus.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys
Thank you so
for
much.
joining us, tuning in. If you guys like this episode, please follow them. We're gonna have all the links in the profile. And until next episode, see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.